Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 164 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, a.k.a. the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. I plucked my ears this afternoon to both the left and the right. It would be very weird if I only plucked one and not the other, because as we all know, science has proven that pretty attractiveness is symmetry. They're one and the same. That is what we are attracted to. So if you want to be pretty, presentable, you must pluck both the left and right ear if you do have a problem with hair growing from the inside of your ears and on the lobes, which I do. And I pluck my ears probably twice a week. I should. If I go more than 1 week without plucking my ears, it is very noticeable. And so I have to do it because I'll touch my ear. I touch my face all the time. That's the one thing I learned at the beginning of COVID. Remember COVID? How they try to memory hold all that, and we're not supposed to talk about it anymore, and how it changed society for not the better. We're not going to get conspiracies here, but at the beginning of COVID, they told you have to wash your hands and do not touch your face because, the germs on your face. And when they told us that, I realized, the B-Man, I touch my face all the time. That's my favorite thing to do, is I touch my face all the time. I am so thankful I am not a babe and put on makeup because I would smudge myself, the mascara and all that jazz. What was I? Oh yeah, my ears. So I pluck my ears twice a week, usually, if I'm being prompt and care about my looks. Otherwise, it is, I don't just have hair coming out of my ear. It is black, thick. You could almost, it's prickly. That's the last thing you want. I haven't been sucking face with any babes of late, the past year or two, every once in a while, but not very often. But the last thing you want is when you're sucking, and this goes both ways, both sexes, boys and girls, gals and chads, when you're doing the foreplay thing, all right? You're not just going straight for the finger pop. You're doing a foreplay. You're licking an ear. The last thing you want when you're licking your lover's ear, or the stranger that you met within the last hour, and you're licking his ear in the bar for everyone to see, PDA, public display of affection, is to get prickly. Feel prickly on your tongue that you're sticking in that stranger's ear because he has hair coming out of it. That's the last thing you want. So I don't want to give prickly ear to a strange babe that I met within the past hour, because that's the best person to stick your tongues. You want to be tonguing. Again, this goes to both sexes. You want to tongue somebody you don't know the last name of. Like, once you know somebody's schedule, you shouldn't be using your tongue on their face anymore. That is for the courting stage of the evening, not even the relationship. The evening is the tonguing of the ear, and I don't want to be giving any babe a prickly ear, and nor should you. So I am a good Samaritan. I pluck my ears twice a week, and I need to do so because it is a little frustrating because nobody compliments me on my ears not being hairy. That's not a thing that humans compliment each other on, because it is expected of us to have non-hairy ears, similar to the babes in their armpits. That you don't compliment the babe for having shaved armpits, but could you expect it of her? Some babes will go against the grain and they'll grow their hair out as like a statement of femininity, of not giving in to what is sexy and what is not. I am not me. Now I give in to what people expect, so I pluck my ears because I am a good Samaritan. I care about what others think of me. That's why I'm a stand-up comedian. I have that hole in my soul, that void, and I'm trying to get strangers to like me, to laugh at me, to give me compliments. I'll hate you, but once you compliment me, I'll take that hatred back and I'll give you a hug. But yeah, I never get complimented on my ears being non-hairy, but I put a lot of work. I pluck them twice a week. And the reason why I do so, not only because I'm a good Samaritan, but because I'm also still trying to get my dick wet. And you can't get your dick wet as a single guy with hairy ears. Therefore, I pluck my ears twice a week because I'm still trying to get my dick wet. It's been unsuccessful of late, but the ears, they're hairless. That is not the reason why my dick isn't getting wet, Mr. Perfect. That's my dick. But I do put in the effort, and I receive no compliments. So, and I'm not getting my dick wet either. But I'm not going to grow my hair out of my ear because I don't want to be that guy. Because when I'm in an elevator and I see a stranger and I notice there's hair in his ear or coming out of his nose, you can't unsee it. Similar to taking a red pill. You can't take it back. You see somebody with ear hair, that's what you know that person as. You're not going to call it out, of course, because we're all polite here at Verbal Graffiti, but you're gonna notice that about the person on the elevator or somebody in your life, and that's it. Like I don't want to be known secretly as a guy with the ear hair. That's not me. That's not me. I'm still trying. I am still trying. I do get complimented on my eyebrows, which I also pluck twice a week. I get the two biggest compliments the B-Man gets are my eyes and my eyebrows, which I think my eyebrows are too bushy, similar to the father from the OC. What was it, Sandy? Sandy Cohen from the OC? I think my eyebrows are as bushy as his, and I don't think my eyebrows are attractive. But apparently the babes, or the people who point out my eyebrows, do think my eyebrows are very stunning, attractive, have a lot of eye appeal to them. But so I put just as much work into my ears as I do my eyebrows in terms of plucking. And the ears hurt a lot more than the eyebrows. If you know, you know. And when you pluck your ears, like it is uncomfortable. And you always got a little tip. If you don't have to pluck your ears yet, if you're not at that age, and hopefully you never get to that age or that point where you have to. But if you do, you know, there's always that line you gotta jiggle between getting the hair on the inside while also not popping your eardrum and losing your hearing. That's a precarious position to be in. When the tweezers are inside the ear right here, it's almost like you're trying to pierce whatever the fuck you call this without piercing. It's hard. I did not expect to be going so far in depth in air or hair plucking, but I have a makeup mirror. Right? That's because the ears are on the side. The eyebrows are very easy to pluck. It's head on. It's face forward. Look in the mirror, but the ear is to the side. So you got to get the makeup mirror. Right? That's what I call it. It's like the round one that's 3x magnum, or maybe 3 to 5x as strong. And you got to, your head's to the side and you're plucking and you're kind of looking out of the periphery vision of your eye. And you're trying to get and you're pulling your ear to try to see the inside, and you're sticking the tweezers in. And you're just kind of, you're kind of going in kind of hoping you pull and you feel the hair and you see it, but sometimes you pull, you get nothing, and you get frustrated, and then you got to do the other side and you cranes your neck, and it's a whole to do. Hey, who you think this is natural beauty, the B-Man? You think this is all natural? It is not. There is a lot of plucking, a lot of twisting, a lot of peering in a mirror to get this face as hairless as it is. Up here, pretty fucking easy, but the rest of the face, a lot of work goes into it. So all you babes complain about, oh yeah, doing makeup and all that. Well, the B-Man, so am I. So we're all in this. We're all in this. What do I want to call it? What did I call that thing in the war? World War I. Where the trenches. We're all in the trenches trying to make our faces beautiful one plucked hair or one hiding a blemish with makeup at a time. Maybe I shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't be comparing plucking hair from an ear in a room temperature bathroom to the boys who fought in the trenches in World War I. Their condition might have been a bit more challenging than the one I just explained for the last 10 minutes. I just talked about plucking ear hair for the last 10 minutes. It's time to move the F forward. Look at the B man, not using the F word, using the F letter to describe the F word. All right, moving along. Speaking of pain, that is the theme of this episode. This comes from the subreddit, home birth. And if you're new to verbal graffiti, welcome aboard. And that's what I do. I just ramble in the beginning, then I find topics on a subreddit, different one each time, and then I try to make an absurd answer for whatever the poster is talking about. Yeah, but yes, to reiterate, this comes from the subreddit, home birth. What do you think happens to us spiritually during birth? I'm pregnant with my second and have been starting to think about birth and mentally prepare myself. Good luck with that. After my first birth, I was shocked how deeply transformed I was spiritually. You'll obviously hear all about the physical part of birth, but no one ever mentioned to me about the mental and spiritual, the experiences and how much it changes you. I told my husband I felt like I left my body and went into another dimension realm, and I felt all kinds of super crazy feelings, and I felt connected to all my ancestors and women from history and all over the world. I felt like I was in a portal between life and death, and I went into the portal and brought out my baby through the portal into the world. Seriously sounds like a drug trip, LOL. That means laugh out loud. And that's how it felt. It was so powerful. I was wondering if everyone else experienced this or something similar, and what does it all mean? Maybe it's our spiritual birth as a mother? Well, as a non-mother, I feel as though I can give you an answer to this with the experience I have. That portal you speak of, that's your vagina. That's like literally what it is. You talk about this portal that you're bringing the baby from your body, your person, into life. That the portal is your vagina, and that thing is magical. The thing being the vagina. For all the frustrations that we both sexes have with it, either if you possess one or you're trying to get one, it is magical. There have been wars started and fought over the possession of somebody's vagina. That's how powerful it is. I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I heard that if you put enough babes into a room, like living situation, if you're around a female friend of yours enough, like your vagina cycles will link up together. And that's how kooky the vagina is. It makes us all Looney Tunes. It makes you, gives you mood swings. It makes us men Looney Tunes. We fight over it. Something about the moon, like the moon and high tide, that affects the vagina, that portal you speak of somehow. So that vagina, that thing, that's the portal. That is what brings life. Right? Maybe not the vagina itself, but that, like, you all right, you all know about childbirth, right? It doesn't come from the seagull with the gullet. No, it comes from the vagina. So that whole portal thing you're talking about, like Anatomy 101, you're welcome, from the B-man to your mother. The vagina, that is where the baby comes from. I learned that in health class in middle school. And also I think my mom told me before that, because I am the youngest of 5, and she's used that portal quite a lot to produce babies in life. As to The out of body experience with producing life, the giving birth to a baby, another human being, an infant. That's the drugs speaking, sweetheart. Like, that's the epidural shot, whatever pain pills that the doctors and the nurses gave you while you were home giving birth with their first child. That's why you felt like you had an out-of-body experience, because you kind of were like drug induced. You were kind of having your own type of acid trip, right? Because they probably drugged you to the gills. You were fucked up because you didn't want to feel that pain that's in your portal when the baby, right, just rips your vagina apart. You know what? That head just gotta fit through that vagina, that portal of yours to get into life. That is probably the out of experience you were having, out of body experience. That is because you were probably hopped up on drugs, so you didn't feel the pain of your vagina being torn apart. So yeah, it was an out of body experience. So I won't combat you with that. And as to no one talking about the spirituality of giving birth and having a child of your own, who have you been talking to? Who have you been talking to? Because all the moms I've ever spoken to in my life, and MILFs, a mother I'd like to fuck, they all talk about the spirituality or how motherhood changes you. Right? Who is this? What's his name? The guy from the movie Lost in Translation, the elderly guy. He's talking with a young Scarlett Johansson, and and Scarlett, she's 18 or she's a young babe in the movie. They go, oh, what's it like to be a parent? And what the fuck is his name? Wow, that's gonna bother me. I can't remember people in movies, but all mothers. And the guy in this movie, even fathers, will tell you, like, it changes your life. Like, your life ceased to exist. Now you live to provide for your daughter or your son or whatever it is you're having. There is a transformation. It's scary. There's something spiritual about it. It humbles you because now you're meaningless and your son or daughter is meaningful. So this whole spirituality and how your life perspective changes and how you can never really know unless you go through it. Like, every mother and father I've ever spoken to has told me about this. So I don't know who you've been talking to. They're actually the pain. The pain is no mom or MILF I've ever spoken to really has ever spoken about the pain unless I bring it up, which I do. Like, I'll ask, like, how painful was the birth? But that's never something the mom or MILF will bring up without me bringing it up. They always talk about, wow, it's so magical, the magic of a new baby, a new human being, and the connection that you have, mouth to tit, So the spirit, you need to find a new group of mothers to speak to. And lastly, similar to how the pain that you endured during the first child that you had, like that goes away, and you forget about it until you get knocked up again. You kind of forget about the pain, and that what allows you to want to get pregnant again, to have another child, another baby. But that spirituality that you're feeling now, the closeness with all the mothers in the world and the earth and your husband and how you're a new human being, like that spirituality, that magic feeling that you feel will go away. Like that it will subside. I'm not sure how long it will take. Maybe a year, maybe two. But you'll go back to being your nasty self prior to the child. Like that the glow of motherhood will subside. And you'll find yourself a year, maybe 3 years from now. All right, you'll be on your knees on the side of a Buffalo Wild Wings, sucking off a line cook with a sleeve tattoo that you just met after going out with your girlfriends and drinking tequila sunrises at Buffalo Wild Wings, and you're sucking this guy off, and you tell him, hey, don't come inside of me because I'm not on birth control. And of course, the line cook, he does come inside of you and apologizes profusely. And the next morning, you find yourself in line at Walgreens to get Plan B, and it hits you. Oh, no, you're just a slut. You're a 304. You're a whore. You're meant for the streets. You have all the other titles. You're a mom. You're a husband. You're a best friend. Maybe you're a grandmother. You're a coworker. But at your core, the epicenter of your vagina, you like to get fucked. Whether it be by your husband or a stranger you met at Buffalo Wild Wings. Your vagina, the portal of life, yearns to get fucked. And that's not an insult. Like, that's life. That's literally how life goes on, is that vagina portal of yours has a desire to get fucked. And that's what gives life, what keeps the species going. So enjoy the glow of motherhood now, because within due order, within a short period of time, you're going to be getting some strange from a stranger. Let's go look at some photos. Bill Murray, my apologies to the legendary Bill Murray. He was a name I could not remember in the first segment. Bill Murray, starred alongside Scarlett Johansson in the movie Lost in Translation. I believe that came out in 2003. Had a major impact on me and my life, and now I see art. I love the cinematography when they're driving through Japan and they're running through the streets, and the dancing and the tension between the two. And that's where I got my kink for wigs, neon colored wigs. 2003. So I was still a teenager at that point, and the internet wasn't what it is today. I might have still been dial-up. I was still using AIM, AOL Instant Messenger in 2003. Remember the door? You'd hear the door slam and open when you turn on and off. But in that movie, Lost in Translation, Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, they go out into town in Japan, maybe it was Hong Kong. I've never been east. It was east. An Asian city, and they go out and they go to a strip club and they're doing karaoke. And in one of the scenes, Scarlett Johansson, I think it's a pink neon wig, and she's kind of doing a seductive dance on a table for the elder statesman, Bill Murray. And that scene, that made Mr. Perfect. That just ingrained in the spank bank. Just Scarlett Johansson. 2003 Scarlett Johansson. That's a Gooner's delight. Scarlett Johansson. I owe her a thank you. I owe her a thank you card, a present. I owe her everything. Before she cut her hair off and became kind of like dykey looking, but just a firm, bodacious, perky. And you wanted them to fuck. I know I'm not the only one that wanted Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray to fuck when they were in his hotel room and they're lying on his bed and they're watching TV. Even though Bill Murray was married and had a family back home in the States, we didn't know the wife. We didn't know nothing about her. So I was drawn to the relationship between Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson. I don't remember what their names were in the film. But I wanted them to get together. I wanted them to fuck on the bed. I didn't want to see it. because it's I want leave a little to the imagination, right? Leave a little, just a little bit. I don't need to see her pubic hair in the movie, but I wanted to know. Like I wanted the two of them to get together so bad because the tension, the love between them, the connection they had, it was palpable. I think you could feel it through the screen, and that's why I still think about that film today. And then at the very end, when they hug each other in the crowded streets and everyone's like bumping off of them, and they're hugging, and Bill Murray whispers something in Scarlett Johansson's ear. Don't know what it was. I want to know, but I like to think it was something. I love you. I love you more than my wife. I wish I had smashed you that night. I smelled your bathrobe after you left the hotel room. Something. He said something of that ilk, that Scarlett, like this, this old man, he loved me. Like it was real. That feeling I had, he had. But that's the movie I was referencing in the first segment. And that feeling. Now I had a feeling last night. I was filming, as I often do after I do stand up. So I was filming late night, New Haven, crowded street. I was trying to get a shot of a police trooper going by with his lights on. So I set up my camera. I was listening to a podcast, and I'm very on edge when I'm filming in the city because we live in a low trust society where, every person who walks by, I'm afraid is going to try to steal my camera because the camera, it might be my most valuable possession, the cost of it, and it'd be very easy just to steal. So every time someone walks by, I always got my fist, and I should get a gun or mace or something, but I'm always leery that someone's going to try to steal it from me. So I'm always just a little, like I'm looking over my shoulder, and there's a lot of street bums in New Haven and homeless people, and it's just people on bikes and gremlins. That's what they're, just gremlins coming out of dark corners. And I got this camera. Like I paid a lot of money for it. And I have all my data on it. And so I need this camera. If I don't have it, I'm fucked. The B-man is fucked. So, but anyway, so this nice gentleman actually walked by, tall, gay man. I'm assuming he was gay. He had the gay voice. Anyway, he walked past me and my camera. There was some distance between the two of us, the camera and me. And he walks by, he gets 10 steps past me. Then he turns around and makes eye contact with me. And I make eye contact with him because he was a stunning looking gay man. Sometimes I feel bad. I have sympathy for the gays that are ugly and live in a very conservative area. But this is not this guy. This guy was probably 6'5". He had a six-pack, lean. Is that twink? He had like hair done perfectly. He was glistening because he was working out. And it was somewhat of a hot night. And he's wearing shorts, shirtless. And he starts walking towards me. And he was asking me, hey, where is this thing on campus? I want to feed the pigeons. Something about the pigeons being not having food in New Haven, and I got the sense he was trying to hit on me, but because I was being polite. I was like, well, I don't know where the college is, but I know where there are pigeons because they shit on my father's Camry all the time when I park in New Haven. So you want to go around the corner, take another left, and we had a short conversation. And after he left, I thought, wait, did he want to get it on with the B-man? I would have politely declined. But it is a little stroke to my ego knowing that perhaps a gay man was trying to hit on me last night. I would have preferred it to be a busty Latina female babe. But you take what you can get, right? And I wasn't going to take it, but getting it, I'd be, hey, thank you very much. Hopefully he found the pigeons. I found that very odd. That was my first interaction with anybody asking for directions to find a pigeon. Now that I give it some thought, I think that usually humans and pigeons have an adversarial relationship because they poop on us. So they're, we're not feeding the pigeons. We're usually frustrated with the pigeons for shitting on us. So there was a gentleman in New Haven wanting to feed the pigeons. I found that a bit odd. But thankfully, my camera didn't get stolen. Hopefully, he fed the pigeons. Don't know why I told you all about that. Scarlett Johansson, neon colored wigs. I've always had a thing for babes who wear wigs because of her. I think that's all the checkpoints. Let's move along. All right, this next one comes from the subreddit Rich. Well, I think we've come to this a few times already in previous episodes. Dating a UNHWI, I do not know what that acronym stands for, asked to sign an NDA. I think that's like a contract. You're not allowed to speak about the relationship. All right, on to the post as I itch my face. Hi. Using a throwaway, obviously, and keeping the details as vague as possible. That's a shame. I've been seeing someone whose net worth is measured in the billions. That's B as in B-man, billions. And they've asked me to sign a very strict mutual NDA before we get more serious. They want confidentiality forever, covering names, photos, even the fact that we're dating. If we never publicly reveal we're dating, etc. There's a clause providing for $1 million in liquidated damages per slip up. I'm a high earner, but nowhere near their level. Income around $600K per year, good for you. Net worth $2 million, even better for you. Under the age of 30, whoa Nelly. We have a consensual DS Dom sub dynamic, and I fully respect discretion. But these terms feel extreme. I genuinely like them and like being around them, but I feel a bit concerned about the unequal power and whether it could lead to coercion if things don't work out. I'm obviously also consulting a lawyer. Question for all of you. For those in a relationship with a UNHWIs, have you ever signed or negotiated an NDA like this? What kind of exceptions are usually built in? No on all counts. I've never dealt with a billionaire as a friend, as a acquaintance, or as a lover. I've never been asked to sign an NDA agreement. So I might be speaking out of pocket with all of this, as we do often here at Verbal Graffiti, though. Well, good for you. I mean, you're in a Dom sub dynamic with a billionaire. Better to be with a billionaire, Dom, than a street bum in New Haven as your Dom. So good. Hey, the more you should be thankful. You should be thankful. This is all he's asking you to do is to sign an NDA. What else were you expecting? Like, if you're going to get into a real relationship with a billionaire, with the B-man, billionaire, like, do you think you could just like bat your eye, twirl your hair, rub him gently on the arm, and that he'd hold your hand and walk you aboard the super yacht and introduce you to all the other lizard people among him? That's not how the billionaires operate. They just don't let hot babes under the age of 30 just come into their world. Have you not heard about Jeffrey Epstein and the island? There's a lot of nefarious activity going on in the billionaires' circles. You don't become a billionaire without, having to sign some contracts and shut your fucking lips about what's going on. So you used to be. Have you not looked up conspiracy theories on the internet before? Because if you haven't, you better fucking start real quick. Because the billionaires are involved in a lot of conspiracy theories. That's why I say you should be thankful that all this gentleman is asking of you is to sign an NDA. That's going to be, you have to understand, that's not going to be his only request of you or demand of you. That's just going to be the first of many. Because after you sign that contract, that NDA, right, you sign your name and initial every page of that 300-page contract because it's going to be long. We're talking billionaires here. He's going to have his butler or his lead attorney or somebody with a mask on is going to come up to you with a thin scalpel and cut the skin off of your fingers because they need to get rid of your fingerprints. Therefore, there is no proof that you actually signed that NDA if it ever does somehow become public. And after you sign that NDA, like, what do you think is really going to happen to your life? Like normal people, even normal billionaires, if there is such a thing, like you sign the NDA, like, I hope you think you're not just going to live on luxurious resorts all up and down the Pacific, drinking mimosas and tanning on the beach every day as you twirl fingers with your boo. All right, if that were the case, this billionaire would just be like every other John and buy you a $20,000 engagement ring. But he's a billionaire living alongside other lizard people. So therefore, that he's making you sign an NDA to do nasty things, and not just to him, but to other people to prove your allegiance to him. Because this is how billionaires operate. Have you ever seen the movie Hunger Games or read the book Hunger Games? Like that, this is what billionaire people do for fun. They go to islands that are not that cannot be found on Google Maps. They'll go to some Pacific island, a tropical island. They drop you there, and it's infested with orphans that they stole from orphanages, and then you have to go hunt down those orphans, kill children, skin them, burn them at the stake. There is a conspiracy theory called Frazzle Drip. It involves the Clintons. That's all I'll say. Just Google, or maybe it might not even be on Google. You might have to go on one of those searches like DuckDuckGo and just put in Frazzle Drip Clintons and see what the Clintons were up to. That is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to prove your allegiance, or you're going to have to kill children, and then you're going to have to drink their blood and do some type of tribal dance and to prove that you're part of the lizard people. And once you're fully admitted to the billionaire class, like, you got to understand that you're signing that NDA. You're giving up your soul, your personhood for this billionaire, this Dom guy, whoever the fuck he is. Like, you're not just giving yourself, you're giving your offspring to him. You have to realize, when you have this billionaire's baby, the baby is not yours. It is the billionaires. It is the lizard people, and your husband, your Dom. He's going to reproduce with your daughter that you have together once she's of age. Because billionaires, they like to keep their genes within their circle. So your husband, Dom, he's going to reproduce with your daughter, and you gotta get meant like. Again, we're not dealing with normal people here. These are the lizard people, right? So before you sign that NDA, just realize, like your Dom is going to be fucking your daughter. That is his daughter as well, and you're going to have to kill other children for fun. And that's just what I know about. Like, I'm just a pleb. I've never even made eyesight with a billionaire. There are things that I can't even fathom that you're going to have to engage in. So before you sign that NDA, just have more than a conversation with your lawyer. You have to have a conversation with yourself and really question yourself and what your morals are, because you're set up well in life, right? Without this Dom, you could do okay for yourself. You've done okay already without this guy. But if you want to be a billionaire and be among the lizard people, you gotta throw your soul away. All right, the dance with the lizards You can't have a soul. So sign that NDA, or you could be a normal person and look up conspiracy theories on the internet and try to put the puzzle pieces together. But that's up to you. I can't answer that for you. But if you do, sign the NDA and take his hand and go on the super yacht. I want nothing to do with you. Go suck a fat one.